it is my pleasure to have you visit my channel. Give the video a pre-start by hitting the subscribe button. Rocky, a WWE Hall of Famer, recently spoke on the most recent episode in which the family assaulted Roman Reigns. The first tribal chief, SmackDown, was assaulted by one Siewa and his associates, companions in the waning hours of. On the solo Siewa show, Roman was singled out. Reigns during the final segment of the show, then Reigns stepped out and started a fight with Siewa with the introduction of ancestral lineage to Roman's surprise, assaulted by the legendary Jacob Fatu in the blink of an eye, solo Tamatonga, and with a triple power bomb, Jacob struck the first ever tribal chief when the program, ending not long after the WWE Hall of. Regarding the segment, famer Arky responded saying, blogging about something on his official Instagram username, as shown in the image below. Rockies have been closely monitoring his family tree for a long period, lately voiced his dissatisfaction. Wrestlers' hints imply a romantic relationship on screen. JUSO, his kid, and Rhea. According to Ripley, the Simone stinker, Jay's actual life could be ruined by an angle marriage Rocky is sure to be thrilled about. That one-man show has been getting on SmackDown as of late. COO will inevitably in a major singles bout against Roman Reigns. Towards the end of the line, the commotion, the atmosphere within the WWE Universe was tense following the unbelievable sight that transpired on the most recent WWE show when Roman Reigns in SmackDown established himself as the head of the tribe, consolidated their position for more than 3 years. His position as the lineage's patriarch and firmly controlling SmackDown. On this particular evening, though, who would alter the Juso? He was surprised by Solo Siewa, who delivered the final act of treachery, a turning point that caused the fans astounded, yet a lone artist has especially struck a chord with the listener. The Usos' father, Rocky, is also a crucial link in the chain of generations. At last spoke up after witnessing the lineage is being eroded by his sons. SmackDown begins with a betrayal. It was already tense. The Roman Empire had become more and more paranoid, not least in light of the most recent crosstalks with Cody Johnson and Seth Rollins. Brewing storm wasn't, though, Rhodes. Beyond the lineage it formerly belonged to, Juso, who has a history of conflicts with. There was a time when Roman was much more outspoken concerning his difficulties while he was on his own, stayed silently watching, as if dedicated to supporting his older relative throughout. That night, Roman attempted to reassemble with his respect and devotion from one's family. The anxiety was at an all-time high. As soon as Roman told Jay and Alone to wipe the floor with Kevin Owens, but the time never arrived. Jay paused, then looked. Roman looked him square in the face and spoke. Nobody anticipated this is not my tribal chief. Current state of affairs between Arky. As time went by, Roman became involved in whispers. The feud's central figure, Rikishi, whether the future Hall of Famer would return to the ring and face off against Roman, or perhaps even his own WWE-ready sons. Did Arky agree with the universe's schism, endangering future generations, or, to him, it was the inevitable conclusion to Roman's authoritarian rule within encounter with that website reiterating his sentiments? Rikishi, relating to the leadership of Roman, I've witnessed Roman as he emerged from childhood into a powerful champion. He proudly wore our family name. However, at some point, that his ego become inflated. He had forgotten what it's like to participate in this. Family prestige isn't everything. Able to lift the most weight when discussing his sons, making the choice to betray Roman Rocky in a serious manner. They decided on J. Jimmy's solo performance. This choice wasn't mine to make, but they're adults now, and they experience. Disdained Roman pushed them at their limit, and now Roman is having to pay the price. The reaction of Reigns at the arena after Roman Reigns, wounded and broken, declined. Care for patience while the cameras. As he had left the stage, he shoved all of them, even Paul Heyman, who perceived the occurrences as truly terrifying. It resulted in Roman sitting alone on the floor of his locker, gazing at his Universal. He was once unstoppable in the championship. Assuredness appears to have been broken for. After a long absence, the tribal chief appeared to, weakening with each passing day. Roman chose not to speak, but when his camp was finally contacted by Wwe as regards to a declaration, the answer was, relaxing with loved ones is paramount, but when you can no longer call a family when they betray you, this one will make them regret it. J. Jimmy alone. On my end, I will ensure that they pay the bill that, following the lineage's arrival of Raka, the family tree and the image were both broken. Everything rested on the outcome of the factions. Harmony would Raka enter men's lives, relatives hurts, or would his participation further intensify the conflict in WWE Universe? Considered the possibility that Archie might face. As a last resort, Roman offers a last threat to the formerly powerful indigenous. As for Solo Sikoa, chief admirers were also curious. Powerhouse, remaining silent, would eventually detach away from his siblings and forge his own way. This path of descent had crumbled under the weight of JUSO's emotional core. Members of the family were also about to shine, maybe even surpassing, taking over for Roman as head of the Archie concluded the Samoan dynasty's legacy. He conducted the interview while deeply contemplating Samoan combat sports, an era of the father of my children, my cousins, my siblings. We created an extraordinary creation that goes beyond Roman's wrestling, that flame, but the moment has come to. After that generation, will they remain united? Instead, choose to continue the heritage of Anoi's legacy will endure, but only in part. Sure thing, there's no turning back now. Following tonight's events at SmackDown, left the airwaves, and the WWE fan base bustled with conjecture. Just one item was well known that the Bloodlines' demise wasn't, rather than a plot, it was the demise of an illustrious line of men, and their dynasty contributed to laying the groundwork for what is presently, so that he can face the fallout with his children and could possibly face the tribal chief personally.